What's up, everybody? It is Friday night. I am getting ready for my Fox Sports Radio show Saturday morning countdown to kickoff, and I'm doing a deep dive into the Georgia Ole Miss game that's going to take place next week in the College World Playoff. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this would be a fun opportunity since it is the only rematch of the week for us to go back and watch the film from the first game, which took place about 2 months ago. It was a pretty high-scoring game, a significantly higher scoring game than a lot of people thought. Georgia won at 43-35. They barely covered as a 7.5-point favorite, and the game, again, flew over the total of 57.5. So flash forward a couple months later, we've seen the total actually drop a little bit. Georgia's still about a touchdown favorite, a little under that, on a neutral, of course, in New Orleans. But, of course, Georgia will have a significant home a feeling of a home crowd. And frankly, I think Ole Miss's fans are going to travel pretty well too. So it should be a really good environment down there in the Sugar Bowl. I think I'm going to start by looking at Ole Miss's offense. We'll see how far I get. Again, I do these watch-alongs. I did it last week for the JMU offense because I hadn't watched them at all this year. Obviously, I've watched both of these teams, but I got some good feedback about the watch-along, and it helped me a lot just to go back and watch. Again, I haven't put this tape back on Ole Miss Georgia since I watched the game live. I'm watching it for the first time now. I've done some research on both teams, so I kind of know what I'm looking for a little bit. The big key in the last game, Trinidad Chambliss had a season-low passing grade, season-low completion rate. Georgia ran a ton of man coverage against Trinidad Chambliss, and he hasn't done well against man this year. He's done a little bit better against zone. So his passing grade dips from top 10 against zone coverage to outside the top 60 against man. So the Ole Miss receivers didn't necessarily prove that they could get separation in the first matchup. And frankly, I think the Georgia defense is playing better now than it was 2 months ago. So the secondary specifically has done a really good job. And there's something to be said about Kirby Smart rematches. We saw it happen to Alabama where they moved it very well in the first game, and then we saw the second game, Kirby Smart in that defense, and Glenn Schumann made some really nice adjustments, and Alabama just failed to do much of anything in that SEC championship game against Georgia. So that's kind of the vibe I get for the Ole Miss offense. On the Georgia offense, very horizontal passing game. They're yak monsters, especially Zachariah Branch. He's an absolute stud. We love the tight ends, Delp and Lucky. The running game is always a factor. Stockton leads the nation in adjusted completion rate when throwing outside the numbers this year. So again, very horizontal passing game, not as much vertical, but they're very good throwing outside the numbers. And the screen game is also very deadly. I think that's going to be something that they do a lot in this game in on the passing side. On the running side, inside zone. Georgia was significantly more physical in the first game. They ran for 224 yards. 100 of those came specifically on inside zone. And Georgia averaging about 5.5 yards per carry on that scheme. The D tackles, Harris and Eccles, really struggled in that game against the Georgia O-line. So that's going to be the key, I think, for the Georgia offense against the Ole Miss defense. Enough yap. Let's grind the tape. Here are my notes here. Let's pull up Premiere. All right, so I'm gonna look up. We're gonna go Ole Miss offense first. We're going to go Ole Miss offense first, and you'll have to excuse me. I've got to get my my telestrator ready here. So you're looking at, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we like to do. Are we working here? Yes, we are. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a look. So Georgia's already up 3-0. Ole Miss got their first possession. Georgia got it first, and Ole Miss is now getting their first possession of the game. So there's that little pop pass they like to run. I think this is probably some kind of RPO where they're reading this linebacker. If he kind of moves forward and attacks the play action, well, then Chambliss can pull it, and you've got him in the flat here. They've got him out leveraged. It's a nice play on first down. Again, that's P and 10. That's the first play of the drive. And Ole Miss does a good job. The play action obviously is going to be huge. Let's see what Georgia coverage-wise was in here. I didn't even look what they were on the first play game. So when I'm studying film, and again, I'm relatively new to this, about a year or so of where it's like I'm watching film on a regular basis, and I kind of have some good foundations of what I'm looking for. I'm not an expert at this by any sense, but I feel like I have a good understanding of the basics. Down distance personnel, right? So first and 10, P and 10, first play of the drive. That's kind of the most important play of the drive. And especially on script early in the game, the reason that I really like to examine the opening drives for both teams is because it gives me a glimpse into what the offensive coordinators are trying to do. So here Georgia's in like a little cover 3 zone. All 3 guys are dropping. And a nice play action, again, on first down to get a positive play, and you're already out near midfield. Chambliss, I think his legs, they did a good job holding Lacey down in this game. It was really Chambliss's legs and his mobility that was kind of the difference in the game. Back in 11 personnel here, first and 10, another play action. So they get those one-on-ones on the outside. So again, Georgia's kind of in a cover 3. Oh, I should have took down those. Georgia's kind of in a cover 3 again here. I'm fine with the back shoulder fade. They're doing a good job getting some solid protection on him early in the game. Could have been a better ball. It was well defended. Second and 10 now. See, they run that quick tempo. See that we saw Bama do that against Georgia too, where it's subtle, but they'll look. So Chambliss right there, check with me, and then it's a quick snap. Watch, he doesn't even really motion. He claps. He claps while he's still looking. He's clapping while he's still looking on the sideline. It's subtle. You're trying to catch, and look, Georgia's still lining up when the ball is snapped. Georgia's guys are all flat-footed here. They don't know what they're doing. Honestly, I think you might see a little bit of that, a little change in the tempo of the snap count. When you're in games like this, and again, you're facing Kirby Smart for the second time, you got to be super creative. Fine with checking down. Looks like what we're doing here. Trying to get something over the middle. This guy's running the I love football route and pulling off that safety. You get Georgia. I mean, look how deep Georgia safeties are. I mean, they're 20, 25 yards off the line of scrimmage. They're in that zone. I think the concept is trying to go here. And then, I don't know, it feels like a bust here. You got 2 guys in the same spot here. That seems like a waste. I think maybe this tight end should have been crossing over the middle. I don't know what this is, to be perfectly honest with you. I guess maybe they're running. Some teams are running this escort now, where, right, the fullback. I'm seeing this a lot more too. Teams are running like that fullback. It wasn't meant to be doing anything. He was actually meant to be a lead blocker. This play actually might be designed for Lacey, where you're running everyone off. Like this receiver is not even interested in doing anything, and you're trying to get all these guys to drop. And then you've got an escort out here in the flat, and you've got your best player with the ball in space. I mean, I understand it on second and 10. Picks up half, and you got yourself in a third and manageable. See it here from the tight. Yeah, because the fullback's not running a route. This guy has no interest in running a route. He looks like he's getting ready to block. Chambliss looks everyone off, and then you've got the escort there up the sideline. The goal is maybe you get one block, and Lacey makes a guy miss and kind of weaves around and gets himself into a spot. But still, you're still in 3rd and 7 here. This is not where you want to be against Georgia. I like this. I like this a lot. Stack release up top. I mean, this guy's a beast. I think that's Deuce Alexander. I forget his name. They've got several big-time players on their roster. Let me actually pull it up. Hold on. I'll pull it up on my phone really quick. So I'm down one. When I do the film study, I'm down one screen. Usually I have a screen with notes on it, but I use that screen to run the film. So I'm a little bit less technologically savvy when I have this. Ole Miss receivers, Ole Miss offense. Yeah, here we go. Stribling, Wallace, Lee, Alexander. So they have 4 guys. Again, they had 199 yards in Yak in the first game. They have 4 guys that are all very dangerous, and they're big bodies. They all do a little bit different things. I wouldn't call any of them elite alpha first-round type draft picks, but they're all very dangerous players. And it's hard to pick which one's going to be the guy. So I really like the stack release here, right? You're running off this safety, and you're using this big body to get inside. And Chambliss does a good job reading it. Right, there's the switch release. Got a little bit of space there. Nice throw. Nice catch. Let's see it from the tight. God, I love breaking down. Honestly, I know this is unconventional for maybe what you're used to for me. This is very fun for me to watch this and to react to it like this and to be able to see things and just pick things up that maybe I wouldn't have picked up before. See, Ole Miss doing it. See, the Ole Miss offensive line, I would say, is overmatched. But they did a good job here, right? They did a good job here. They had a hat on a hat. A little bit of pressure there from Zero, who's a beast. Good throw into a tight window. All right, so now we're back to 1st and 10. So this is, again, still the opening drive of the game. Nice little drive going here for Ole Miss. Quick little speed out, right? Quick little speed out. You got a switch release here. This guy's coming up. He'll run up the rail, but in reality, you got 3 over 2 here. Probably not much. And you got one of your better slot receivers inside leverage on a linebacker. This is a really easy decision and a good throw. In rhythm, in timing. Again, this is the kind of stuff that hopefully Georgia plays this a little bit differently if you're a Georgia fan, right? You don't want, although that's a bad matchup. You almost just have to tip your cap when your slot guy's on a linebacker like that, even as good of a linebacker as 3. Now we're back to the run game here. They did not do a good job in this area, in this inside zone spot. Georgia fit this up nice. This just looked like basic RPO. Not even RPO. I don't even see a... Yeah, he's running a hitch here at the top. I'll be honest, I would have taken the hitch. Although you can't because that lineman went right up. That lineman just blasted right off the line. So if you would have thrown that, it would have been an eligible man downfield. But Georgia just bottles that up. Like you're just not winning this game. This is not the type of game you're gonna win. Like they tried to double team here. Like this is just duo. 94 sheds it. Beast. It's gonna be tough sledding, I think, for Lacey in the middle in this game. I wouldn't expect him, especially coming off the injury, right? He was banged up. His shoulder injury against Tulane. He was in and out of the lineup. I like the concept, but it seems like it was late. It seemed like everything was late here. What do you have? Play action. Trying to run these guys off. You're trying to fake the screen to get you're trying to get that safety to bite, and you're trying to run this guy up the rail, but it just didn't work. I thought Georgia did a good job defending this. Right? The goal is you get this screen, you get one of these guys to bite, and then here's your that's your primary. He threw it, trying to make a back shoulder, but I guess that's the spot to throw it. Either your guy gets a back shoulder or nobody catches it. You're going to have to hit some of those in this game, I think. Those pockets will be there. I mean, there was a pocket of space available there if he made a better throw. I hate how these guys do this with the ball. Well, look how he does this with the ball in the play action. Watch the play action and then watch him flip the ball right there. Look at him flip the ball. I'll go frame by frame. See how look at the ball flip around in his hands. See how he does that? Some of these guys like to play around with the ball in the pocket, and it causes a lot of bad mechanics. You know who's a king of that? John Mateer. That man's got some of the worst mechanics I've ever seen for a quarterback at his level, but I'm sure he knows it, nor does he care. All right, what is this, 2nd and long? See, this is the stuff that Georgia's probably going to give you a lot of this, right? It's 2nd and 10. They're running another one of those cover 3 umbrellas where they're not going to give you anything deep. They're not going to give you the explosive. Well, you got to take this. You got to take this. You got to fire this. You got to if they're going to give you 10 yards on 2nd and 10, you got to take it. You cannot be greedy in this game. The yards are not going to be as easy to come by as they were in the first game. You are not going to hoodwink Kirby Smart twice in one season. It's very rare that you're going to – I would be shocked if Ole Miss had more yards in this game than they did in the first game. Absolutely shocked. I just don't see it happening. See, this is what Georgia is, I think, a little vulnerable to. I think they're a little creasable when you have the count in your favor. What do I mean by that? Well, I guess in this case, he put the running back out in the flat, but still, someone has to account for that. You have the count in your favor, right? What does that mean? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box, and you've got 6 blockers here, right? And then you've got another guy coming into the line of scrimmage. So you've got 7 guys to either block or run play action, and there's only 6 here in the box for Georgia. That means the count is in your favor. You should be able to run the ball effectively, especially when you're pulling, right? We're going to pull, guard and tackle into this hole. This guy's going to fly across. It's going to create a lot of mess, and then you're seeing the crease open up right here. This is where Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss can be very effective in this game. I don't think Kewan Lacey in their straight run game is going to be the guy. And it's tough to bet a rushing yard prop for a quarterback against Georgia because obviously sacks could be a factor. It's not a bad throw. But I think Chambliss in the run game is really the best option for Ole Miss to get easy yards on the ground in this game where you're just moving bodies and creating creases up front. So this is another one of those situations where you identify the man coverage on the outside, you just let it rip. Play action. Again, better throw, hits a touchdown. Actually, it really wasn't that bad of a throw, to be honest with you. He just didn't make the play. It's a lower percentage play, but I don't hate it. Especially on 1st and 10 in the red zone. Take a shot. Totally fine with that. Actually, I think that was second. Yeah, that was 2nd and short in the red zone. So now you're in 3rd and short. I'm okay, though. 2nd and short. Still setting up yourself in an okay spot to convert on 3rd down. Let's see if they do. And they do. Easy. That's just an easy completion. What do you got these guys doing? These guys are running off. I mean, really, I didn't think it was a great play by this linebacker. Overcommitted. Left the flat vulnerable. And I'm sure if this safety came up, maybe one of these guys would have been available. But really, the play was probably designed for Lacey the whole time on 3rd down. They like getting him the ball in space on the outside in the passing game as well. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if he has just as many receiving yards in this game as rushing yards. That would not surprise me at all. And they ran this like counter too up front. See? Pull, insert. Some interesting schemes. A lot of gap, a lot of counter, a lot of guards pulling, a lot of read option. Here's another one. Yeah, I'm fine with the give there. Play was actually designed for the backside, I think. I don't know what you're trying to do here. I think Lacey just read it wrong. I mean, Georgia defended that well. It's tough to move them in the red zone, man. They're a very good defense. Let's see it from the tight here. I don't really know what this was. Double team, pull. Yeah, that's a counter scheme. All right, second and goal. Another. Yep, there you go. See, this is the pressure they cause. Crashing down, and then he crashes, and then he gets wide, right? He puts a lot of stress on this decision. He doesn't necessarily commit too far into the hole. He's square, presses down on it. Chambliss mishandles it. Lucky to get it back. Good job by 5 on the outside reading that. You'll watch it much better from the type. It was 20, sorry. 20, right? And really, 0 crashes. But 20 plays this well. Eyes on, ball. He's playing quarterback. 20's playing quarterback. He probably should have given this. Right? Hopefully that block gets there. This crease probably opens up. Look at that. Absolutely, Chambliss should have given that. It's a touchdown if he gives it. And that's probably why it was fumbled. Because Lacey probably thought, there's the hole. And Chambliss was like, nope, this ball's mine. And he was lucky to get it back. Yeah, that was bad. Watch it open up. I mean, it's actually blocked really well. Honestly, look at this center. The center gets work here. Look at this. Center bangs 44 and then gets back to the backside to create the crease on 3. Watch the center. Boom. And then one more. I mean, that's there. I'm sure Chambliss hated that on tape. But to be fair, I'm not in the room. And that's the one thing about this film study that can be tough sometimes. Sometimes it looks like you should have done one thing on film, right? The eye and this guy don't lie. But a lot of times these guys are told automatic give, automatic keep. Or they make up their mind before the play even starts. And then it doesn't matter what the read is. So it's easy for us to armchair quarterback it, but we really don't know what's being said to these guys in the room. But I'll tell you what. That was there, man. I mean, that was freaking there for a touchdown. What a great job by the center. Oh, well. All right, so now we're in 3rd and goal from not a conducive spot. Look at Georgia just lining 4 guys up on the goal line like that. I wonder what they're not going to give you. Look at that. There's basically no linebackers on this play. Look at this crazy look from Schumann. You got 4 back, 7 up, 7 walked up. I personally love this. I mean, again, I don't study enough film to know if a lot of other teams are doing this. But essentially what this is saying is we're going to heat you up and make you a quick decision. And if you throw it short, we're going to rally because we love to rally and we eat. And we're not letting you cross this goal line. And what happens? It's the QB run that gets him. Good job by Chambliss. See, again, this is the X factor. This is what Georgia can't contain. I think they are locked in defensively to everything else you are going to do. I think their corners can man up. They obviously believe so based on how much man coverage they played in the first matchup. I think their run fits are good against Lacey. I think they understand how to defend the gap and the counter and the zone read schemes. What they can't defend is when this kid says, Chambliss, I'm just going to make a play. I mean, this is all Chambliss. He's in jail here. How does he get out of that? There's 5 blockers to 7. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ole Miss players. He's outnumbered -2 in the count. 7-5. And he somehow sneaks out the back door and then gets into the end zone. Listen, there's no defense for that. That's just pure ability and instincts. Ball instincts. Love this. Again, they love these stack releases. He'll get off the line, drag it out. He'll drop these two safeties off. Clear out route here on the backside. Gives you a ton of space to throw into here, right? This is the window we are attacking. This guy's probably running off. Clearing out these two defenders. You're just attacking that gigantic open window space. And then there's your yak. Another 10 yards of yak. You'll see it open up really nicely here from the tight. Play action certainly helps, right? Play action, get these linebackers to flow, and then you're coming back on the backside. Well-designed play. Once he crosses 19's face, this is on like Donkey Kong, baby. Then he makes the catch and gets 10 extra yards. See, like, this is easy. It's quick. It's hassle-free. There's no agita for the quarterback with those types of reads and those types of plays. He's loving the back shoulders, but he's like 0 for the world in the back shoulders. I don't know if this was designed for a back shoulder. Not really much else there, to be perfectly honest with you. Looks like you got deep third. I don't even know what defense this is. I think he made the throw so quick they didn't even have a chance to really get set. Almost looks like, yeah, safety's dropping. Yeah, he's playing deep third. There is a window there. I mean, listen, when you're in split safety look like that, that's the pocket of space you're trying to throw to. I think he read it right. He just, again, he's a little off with the timing. He doesn't have the biggest arm. You know, I think he has a good arm, but I don't think he has one of those howitzers that really can make those types of outside the numbers throws. I mean, this is just pure improvisation right here. I don't even know what this play was supposed to be. Let's see what we got here. I mean, I don't even know what this is. This looked like a broken play. Let's move on. See, some stuff I'm not quite there yet. Unless the play kind of has like a specific outcome that is sort of predictable. Although, again, this is just another one of those plays that showcases how crazy Chambliss can be. I mean, that was a broken play that he ended up gaining, 10 yards on? Set up third and manageable. This is where you want to be against Georgia, 3rd and 3. You don't want to be 3rd and 6 or more. You know, one of their one positive runs of the day. They didn't have many of them. I mean, it's a good read, but might have been an automatic give because that's the guy I would say you're reading, and he crashes pretty hard, right? I don't know. It could have been one of those situations where it was an automatic give. I guess I didn't see the safety right there. I didn't see that safety crashing in, so it was probably the right read. Play action on first down, short stuff. I think that was a pick. See, this is one of those spots where he probably picked his side of the field that he was going to throw before the play even started. Because, honestly, if he lets this develop here, right, looks like they're kind of in this cover 3. But if he lets this develop, did he have time to throw? See, he was just staring down that side of the field from the start, man. Because this guy comes out, that's going to flash. Although he cuts off his route. I think that was just a designed play to that side because he didn't even look to the other side. It wasn't really a great throw. He wasn't even open. Let's check his mechanics here. Yeah, he had some pressure coming in, so he probably had to deliver this a little quicker than he started. That guy was beating him right inside. Not a good throw. I think it was a pick. Nope, incomplete. 2nd and 10. See, look at this. Here they are again. 4 at the first down mark, 7 walked up. Like, that's just, I guess they do this a lot where they just have no linebackers in the middle of the field. It's crazy. Georgia loves to screw around, man. Again, that's the second time you're facing a Kirby Smart defense in the same season. I mean, I think their analysts and their minds are better than yours. Well, they do a good job there beating it. It trips on one side. Right, he had slant. Looked like a little hook route. And he's running the sail. You hit that slant underneath. Honestly, that's a dangerous throw, my man. 33 almost got there. He was lucky he didn't get his head ripped off. Let's watch it here. So 33 dropped back, and that's what Chambliss didn't read properly. Because 33 almost makes this play. Watch 33 right here. Drops right into the window. Chambliss doesn't really see him. Frankly, 33 really should have made a play on the ball here. I mean, look at that. He was right there. See, this is the stuff that, right? Georgia ended up only blitzing 3 there. Bunch of guys dropped. Georgia only ended up rushing 3. They had 7 guys walked up. You had a drop, and then 33 over there dropped, and he's about to make the play. Chambliss, in that particular situation, probably got to wait. I don't know. Maybe wait for it to develop a little bit more. They're only rushing 3. You don't have to deliver that football right away. Don't be panicked. Yeah, this is not going to work against Georgia. That's just straight speed option. That ain't going to work against Georgia. I'm sorry, it's just not. This is the guy you're reading right here. The problem is, this dude loves to hunt. He loves to hunt. And he pitched it too soon. Chambliss pitched it too soon. He needs to attack this player off the edge. See, look, he pitches it, and it's a timid pitch, and you're giving 0 a lot of time to get to the outside. And that is not your typical defensive end. That guy's probably 6'3", 230 pounds, and he can run real fast. Look at him walk. Look at him standing up. That is a dude right there. Chambliss has to attack that pitch. See how 0 shuffles his feet, doesn't commit, well coached, disciplined, strings that thing out. You're not doing that against Georgia. That ain't working. Get that play out of the arsenal. That play is not working against this defense. It's just not. And if it is, Chambliss has to seriously attack that read player, which he did not do in that particular scenario. That's a nice throw. So he actually had time to throw here. He had time to throw. And you're getting the sail route out of the backfield from Kewan Lacey. Both these guys are running off. Boom, boom. Lacey here in the backfield is going to run the sail. Does a good job getting off contact there. Both these linebackers come up. Chambliss has plenty of time to throw. Lacey needs to finish that route. He almost didn't finish it, and that would have prevented him from catching it. Thank God he kept running. Oh, that wasn't Lacey. I'm sorry. That was number 17. See, that's where the other guys can be. Lacey was a decoy there, right? Both of these guys are looking at Lacey. They're like, we're not letting you get it, and they let 17 run right behind him. Like, that's where sometimes Lacey is best suited as a decoy. Look at all that space. Nice throw. Nice catch from a running back. See what they do in the red zone here. Another read option. And Lacey's running it okay. That was one of their few positive runs of the day. I think Lacey only ran for like 35 yards in this game. Fact checkers can check me on that. I think he had like 12 carries for 35 yards or something like that. He was down at the 1, so 2nd and goal. I think he scores here, yep. Mm. Sneaks through that little crease. Didn't look like Georgia was pushing too hard. All right, so Georgia's up 17-14. We're in the second quarter. High scoring game so far between these teams. And there's that little play action into the flat. We saw that on the first. I think this was the first play of the game. I think this is the exact same play they ran on the first play of the game. All right, you think it's run. Boom, boom. Like this is their typical counter look. And then they just flip that tight end right into the flat, number 4. Tight end, play action pass. I see a lot of teams running this year. Again, this is the second time I've seen Ole Miss run it successfully in this game, and we're only in the first half. Yeah, that feels like a wasted play on first down. Automatic give. You can just tell by Chambliss' body language that looked like an automatic give. And who knows, maybe they just, it was a long drive for Georgia's offense. Maybe they just want to get the clock moving and try to gain some positive yards so it's not 2nd and 10. And then this is the stuff that, listen, if Georgia's going to give it to them, again, they love running this shell, right? It looks like you got another cover 3 shell here. And then you got zone underneath. And there's your mid. I mean, they're going to give you these pockets here on the outside. They're going to give them to you. You got to take them. Like, that's boring stuff, but to me, that's a better first down play than the run. Because then you set up 2nd and 3. Then you can take a shot on 2nd and 3. 2nd and 8, you gotta get half of it. Because you don't want to be in 3rd and 8. 3rd and 4 is good. So it's almost like your first down play dictates what you can do on 2nd down. And when you're playing a game against Kirby Smart for the second time, you need to be very effective on first down. There's the play action on first down. See, this is I like. But I think Georgia defended this well. All right, you get that stack release again. They love this stack release. Actually, here it's trips bunch. And they're running that escort play into the flat again, right? We saw that earlier in the game. They like that escort where they're taking a fullback who's an eligible receiver, and they're using him as basically a lead blocker in case they want to throw the check down. And a lot of times it's designed for the check down. And frankly, I would have thrown the check down here. Because, look, you've got 2 for 2, or you got 3 over 2. But in my eyes, you got a blocker, and then you got Lacey trying to go on the 2nd-level defender, really the 3rd-level defender, who I like that matchup. I like the matchup if it's Lacey one-on-one against the cornerback. I feel like I'm winning that matchup. But instead they try to go to this little, I think it's just like a tight end hook underneath. Yeah. We'll drag route across. Georgia defended that well. 8 was there the whole time. I would have taken Lacey there. I would have taken the check down with the escort, which I think is kind of what that play is designed for. That's why they run that escort out there. It's an interesting concept. I'd be interested in hearing more from offensive gurus about why the escort play has become very popular as a screen option, a check down option in college football. I think it's because so many defenses are playing so much zone, deep zone, that teams are just content with the check down. And if you get another blocker out there, then all of a sudden you can turn a check down into an explosive. If it's, leveraged right. This is essentially an extension of their running game. Probably better off doing this than just slamming Lacey right into the middle of the defense 15 or 20 times. It looks like their counter scheme. Let's see how they block it. No. Just kind of a wash and down. 75 kind of pulls a little bit, but I don't know. I don't really like how that's blocked. I would have made it look like counter and gone to the other side on the jet sweep, but what do I know? I'm just some dude on a couch. this is what he can do on 3rd and 5. I mean, let's see if he had anything. Not really. Right? Gone. Safety. Corner help over the top of that deep road. And like that, here's the thing about Chambliss. Like this guy reads it really well, and the second Chambliss breaks, I mean, he's gone. He's out. He's leaving that receiver, and he still can't make the play. It's tough to ask Zero, who's basically a defensive lineman, to try to run down Chambliss in the open field. But even the corners, when they come off, I mean, that's just all Chambliss, man. Like these are plays that only certain guys. I think he's one of the best stories in college football this year. I really do. I mean, this dude was playing at Ferris State last year, and he's doing this against Georgia. Like, he was the offense in this game. Like, you're not seeing a whole lot of rhythm passing. Although you're seeing a lot of underneath stuff, right? Like, you're seeing a lot of hitches, and again, 5-6 yard hitch route on soft coverage with all these guys just dropping at the snap. Man, they love playing that too high look where you're just getting a lot of soft zone. You're not getting a lot of, like, sit back in the pocket for 5 to 7 steps, read the defense, click off reads, 1, 2, 3. You're not seeing a lot of that because that's just not what he's capable of. His strengths are this. His strengths are, boom, 1, 2, 3, ball out quick. And then his strengths are 1, 2, 3, nothing there, first read, boom, run, activate the legs. Like, the coaches design first reads, and then the second read to me should be his legs. And, like, it's the same thing here. Look. Safety over top here. Man up. Man look on the outside. Blitz. Boom. One-on-one coverage. Throw the deep route. See, like, it's a lot of back shoulder, outside the numbers, quick, first read, and then it's a lot of quarterback run. And I think those are the most effective things for him. Like, I honestly think that's going to be the only way that he's able to get sustained yards in this game, is if he is consistently finding ways to make plays with his legs. They got a penalty there that kind of bailed him out. Let's see how they score here. And then after this, I'll wrap things up. I feel like I've been rolling for quite some time here. We've been going for over 40 minutes now, so hopefully you guys learned something from this. Like, again, here's the jet motion, that jet sweep again. I don't think you're going to get much with this vertical or horizontally against Georgia. I think that's a play that Georgia probably is going to be able to sniff out. Oh, here's a funky formation. Let's see what they do in the red zone here. They like having this pony package where they put that fullback in the backfield and they make him go all over the place. Like, that was a receiver again. That was a fullback and a receiver in the backfield. Like, that's kind of their H-back. And then that's a receiver. Lacey's not even on the field here, their actual running back. So they'll do a lot of quirky, weird stuff like this, right? Where they'll motion, they'll put weird guys in weird spots. They like using their backs all over the field. The running backs outside, they like using their receivers. Right? Look at this. Here's pitch pass. Here's toss pass. Right? There's Lacey. He's gonna take the toss. You can just tell by the way he's running and he's looking to put the ball in his arm. And there's your out route. Touchdown. You catch that? No, they say it was incomplete. You can just tell when the running back wants to throw it. The thing that drives me nuts, man, that looked like a touchdown. The thing that drives me nuts is when they're outside the numbers and they're throwing it, and the receiver or the running back is looking to throw, and there's nothing there, and they're outside the numbers, and they don't throw it away, and they take the sack because they just don't know. Like, their brain can't process. Throw it away. And instead of 2nd and 10, it's like 2nd and 15. Shit drives me nuts. Here you go, quarterback run again. This is what I would be doing, especially in the goal line. Anytime you're inside the 10, quarterback run, you should look to quarterback run. Oh, boy. This is the backup. But they're giving it to Lacey. See, there's Chambliss coming around the edge right here. Here's Chambliss. I think that's the backup, Austin something. I forget his first name. Austin Simmons, I think. Yeah, Austin Simmons. And then they just snap it to Lacey. You could tell because, see, the center's right here. There's the ball. There's your guard, tackle, tight end. So you can see he's kind of off center, right? Like Lacey's kind of the one right directly in back of the center. It's a little bit offset, but you can kind of tell it's a little funky. Again, Georgia's going to sniff that out. The problem is it's just hard to defend. You know, you had a good fake here. Chambliss drew this linebacker away a little bit. It's tough to defend. That's really tough to defend. All right. That was fun. I think my conclusions here is Georgia played really well enough defensively to win the game. Obviously, you can make improvements when you give up. How many points did they give up again? I think 30, 35 points. You can obviously make improvements. I think the Georgia defense is much better now than it was 2 months ago when this game was played. I think their offense is a little bit better. I'll do a separate film study about their offense. I'll do the exact same thing I just did for the defense. I'll do it for the offense. I won't do it tonight. I'm gassed. That was like a 45-minute film study. I don't do this often. That was helpful for me to just go through everything and see how it felt, see how it sounded. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, please. If you learned anything, if you laughed, if you cried, if you enjoyed the film study in any way, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. We're getting close to 1,000 members. Once I do that, I can take the subscribership and the monetization to the next level. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to put out good content for you guys. I'm trying to just be me as I figure out this crazy thing we call life. 31 yards, Lacey, in the first matchup. I said 35. I overshot him by 4 yards. As a team, they only gained 19 yards before first contact. That Ole Miss O-line really struggled to get pushed in the run game, and I think they're going to struggle again. For Ole Miss's run game, it's got to be Trinidad Chambliss. And those receivers have to prove they can separate because it doesn't seem like Georgia respects them a whole lot based on how much man coverage they ran in that first matchup. So I would be willing to bet that Ole Miss does not score 35 here. They're expected only to score into the 20s. I kind of lean to the under. On Ole Miss's team total. I kind of lean to the under in the game. I just think the Kirby Smart narrative of playing a team for the second time, I think it just really favors Kirby Smart and how well prepared the Georgia defense is. So, again, hope you learned something. Should be a really fun game. Ole Miss and Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. I think Georgia wins the game. I think they move on to the semifinals to likely play Ohio State in what should be an absolute battle. Again, hope you enjoyed the film study. Don't forget, hit the like button on your way out. Love you a whole lot. See you next time.